We're here. It's our first podcast.
Woo!
We had this idea at the end of 2018/beginning of 2019 to share our stories over the podcast. We began the New Year's countdown around the television with our parents, watching the ball drop on screen from Times Squares. I think it's called the ball drop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but they decided to go to bed after that, and we decided to continue our festivities in the kitchen. We popped a bottle.
A bottle.
Pop the bottle.
Asian glow.
and also, because not all of us are 18 yet. The drinking age is 21.
And
well, this annual tradition has continued since then.
Can you call it an annual tradition if we've only done it twice?
Well, but we've stayed up twice for over 2 hours now. So if that's not an annual tradition, I'm not sure what is.
Thank you for having my back.
I mean, I think the reason we do this is because it's something we've always done growing up. In the evenings, we always had dinner with our parents at the dinner table and sat around and shared stories. And even on Sundays, we always had family lunch at Bangwai, our maternal grandmother's house. But I think also these family gatherings came to make me realize that we grew up different from other families that we knew growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So these will be our conversations about growing up Vietnamese American. In the process, we'll record our family history and our exploration of the hyphenation in Vietnamese American.
And what better way to start our history than with childhood stories?
Welcome to Growing Up Nguyễn, a story of 4 siblings holding on to our identity
while fulfilling our parents' dreams.
I'm Hương. I'm Karin Hạnh.
I'm Hedda Hiếu.
And I'm Ben Hoàng. These are the blessings and challenges of being Nguyễn in America.
Han, do you remember in 4th grade when we got the rolly backpacks?
I do. I remember.
I'm trying to think, did I want them because I thought that wearing backpacks on my back was stunting my growth, or my parents thought that? I don't know.
Don't think it was about stunning growth.
I do know that we were carrying a lot of textbooks home every single day for homework. There was social studies, math, science, language arts, spelling bee. Am I missing anything? The list goes on and on, just to tell you how gruesome elementary school is. I remember wanting this rolly backpack, and Bo and I were into it, but I was aware that we had a budget as a family, so we weren't going to get it right away, but it was definitely on their radar. I think about a week later, we came home from school, and Bo was like, I got you rolly backpacks. We were so excited. We ran into the house. Yeah. And I'm like, ah! And I liked blue, so I was like, I want the blue one.
Yeah, and so I got the other one, which was like perfect for me because it was just about my height, or like a little bit less than my height. Yeah.
The next day, we brought them to school. I started to notice maybe our backpacks were a little different. They didn't have as many compartments. They didn't even have that water bottle holder on the side. And when we rolled them, they were extremely loud. I couldn't even hear myself speak to you when we were walking next to each other into the school building.
I remember.
I think when I got closer to the line where we, before you line up to go in, my classmate said, "Why are you carrying a suitcase?"
Oh, what?
Yes. Bo got us suitcases for school. They were luggages. The handles pull up and they lock in place, and there's only one compartment.
Well, I had 3 compartments.
Oh, that's right. At least you had a lucky one for the underwear compartment or something. Not used for. So it was, needless to say, pretty embarrassing. I don't even know how I responded to the kid. Most of it was probably just like, it's a backpack.
Well, I think my experience is a little different. I mean, even knowing it was like a suitcase, not a backpack, because the thing is, I had a crush.
And what do you mean by crush?
Oh, I had someone who had a crush on me. And then so when my suitcase got too heavy to like roll down the stairs, he would carry it for me.
Oh my.
Someone's a player.
Well played, Hen. Well played. Honestly, well played by our parents, though, too.
Yeah, if you think about it, it works perfectly for the school year. It's a backpack, rolly backpack for the school year. And then we can roll it away as a luggage on summer vacations.
Yeah, I think by the time I got a rolly backpack, it was like a real rolly backpack. But yeah, I always remember in the mornings, Bo would always like walk me to the line. You know, like most parents would just drive through the drive-thru or whatever, drop off their kids, and then leave. Bo almost always walked me to the line and waited with me until the 8:30 a.m. bell rang. And it was kind of, I feel like looking back now, it was like almost kind of embarrassing because he did this up until I was in 8th grade. So like in 8th grade, he was still standing there with me. And like I could tell that everyone else was hanging out with their friends, running around, like not in line yet at 8:30 a.m. But Bo always came and like stood there with me and made conversation, or sometimes not.
That's nice of him.
Aw, so nice.
Did he wait for us?
I don't remember him waiting for us.
Wow, I think he was a special one.
Yeah, I know.
Awkward moment. Everyone's finding out now.
I think she was special because I had the opposite experience. In fact, I think I was left at school.
What do you mean?
You know, like how after school kids wait around in a specific area to get picked up, and you know the parents would come like on time, 5-10 minutes late. I kind of waited like 20, 40, sometimes 60 minutes to get picked up. I think our father kind of forgot me.
He was late for picking us.
Oh, always.
I think all of us up at some point because I understand that he was busy. Now I can say, okay, I think it's because he was working to balance his own work and also managing our individual lives, his 4 children. Even then, he would participate in a lot of our school activities. So despite feeling very, very embarrassed in 4th grade with my luggage backpack, I still used it later on in the 5th grade. I'll always remember the field trip to Alcatraz in 5th grade because this is when my life changed. Okay, guys? Ready? The teacher had asked students to have their parents sign up to go to the Alcatraz field trip. She needed drivers. I was really nervous, but Mo said, I'll do it because he hadn't been to Alcatraz. Mo always loved history, so he would want to participate for the aspect of history, but also he was interested in, participating as part of our class, recognizing that we needed drivers and he had a van. What the teacher did, though, was put all the list of chaperones on the board, and I was so nervous. Maybe anxious, too, just because I felt like the uncool kid. What if my car was the last one to fill up? Or what if a kid I didn't like wanted to sit in my car?
Okay.
But more so, I was just nervous, like I was not the popular kid. And who wants to sit in the car with a girl who pulls a suitcase to school? So there she goes, one by one. Names get pulled, and you guys would not believe it. Bo's van was the first to fill up.
No way.
Yeah. Because of Bo, I became the popular kid. Or in my eyes, Bo made me popular. I remember waiting in line to go to recess after the whole chaperone sign up. The boy in front of me said, I want to be in Hong's car. I was the first to fill up.
Aww.
I put my hands in my pocket and just did a chin nod at him.
Oh, man.
For Bo also was a chaperone for a lot of the field trips that I went on too. And the one that I remember where he just participated in a school activity, a classroom activity that we had, it's going to be a little counter to your cool dad image, but I guess that's the embarrassment we all must suffer in the 4th grade. So it was during the Christmas season where he volunteered to help serve snacks for the party, like popcorn, sugar cookies, eggnog. And we were watching Fantasia 2000 when a classmate tapped my arm and then, hey, you're turned so quickly to find my father sitting at the back of the classroom, head back, eyes closed, mouth open, audibly snoring.
Oh my gosh.
I was so embarrassed. And looking back now, it's cool to have your dad so involved in your life. It's a little embarrassing to have him fall asleep like when he's supposed to be the chaperone. So one of the things that Bo really prioritized for us, all four of us, I remember he always took us to the library. You guys remember that?
Summer reading.
Oh, yes, the summer reading program. I always did it because we could get prizes.
I loved doing that too, so that we can go to the museums. That was like my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh. I just remember getting ice cream or ice skating too.
Oh, yeah, ice skating.
As a kid, I just loved going to the library because my dad always brought us to the library. And it was around 6th grade when I started volunteering at our school library. They had just opened our elementary school library for the entire, up to 8th grade classes to use. And I would volunteer there at recess every single day and do simple things like reshelving books and straightening books so it looks nice and even on the shelf. I actually did this for, you would not believe, 3 years.
What?
What?
I literally had no idea.
That's why we never saw you at recess.
Right. So I did that for 3 years. And upon graduating, I got a pin that acknowledged my unofficial time as a librarian's assistant.
What do you mean unofficial time? You did spend time doing it.
Because I wasn't acknowledged for the 3 years that I did it. And it was all on my graduation. And then they were like, and for her library service.
Oh,
Wow.
Library service. Oh, man.
Wow. Why did you do this for 3 years?
Well, being at the library and being around books has always been a great comfort to me.
Yeah, I think Bo also really encouraged us in our book learning in general. Bo used to have me work on my handwriting and math with worksheets that he created and even wrote out by hand.
Mm-hmm. I did that.
Yeah, I had to like trace the words that he wrote out and practice math, which like some math I wasn't even doing in school yet. So, but he definitely put it to good use, making us learn how to write checks.
Oh, yeah.
I always remember how he always told the story about Banoy, his mom, our grandma, would make him go to the bank and deposit or withdraw money, but he was always too shy or maybe nervous to interact with the teller, even at 18 years old. So when he told me to do it, when I was in, 5th or 6th grade, I went into the bank and I stood in line, fully expecting them to not take the check I wrote. My head barely reached above the counter to the teller. And surprisingly, they did. They took the check.
Hey.
What? And I walked back out, and Bo was like, what? I don't know if that says anything about the bank, but they probably also recognized me because I was pretty much attached to the hip to Bo as a kid.
I mean, clearly, you're the one that he waited in line at the beginning of school. And you were his mini assistant.
Okay.
Mini assistant, his mini me. And then along came Huang.
Damn! Why are you gonna do me dirty?
I did not say that.
Well, you're right. Along came me because my experience is actually a little bit different from all of you. Because after I was born, my aunt started working less and became more of a stay-at-home mom. And she took turns with Walt to drive me to school.
Oh, that's a huge difference actually, because when we were growing up, I was working at her tailoring shop pretty late too, like 10 to 6 or 10 to 10 even on most days. So Bo was the one picking us up from school, taking us to extracurriculars, and she rarely picked us up. It was only if Bo couldn't, and then our uncle couldn't or her grandpa couldn't. So she was 5th or 4th in line to be to pick us up. Yeah. So what does it mean that I picked you up? What was that experience like?
Pick me up on time. Yeah, she picked me up on time. And not only that, I don't know if she did this for you too, but she made me lunches every day.
Maybe that's why we're shorthand, because Mo didn't bring us
Yeah, and
tell me about these snacks. What were they?
fruit, fresh cut fruit, of course. Mango, oranges, strawberry. You guys didn't have that?
I thought apples and oranges. That's about.
I remember Bo making a salami sandwich for me. It was like a piece of white bread. He put salami in it, and a piece of lettuce, and then closed it.
I remember my aunt yelled at Mole because he would just let me drink orange juice in the morning as breakfast, and then I guess the acidity made my stomach hurt all the time, so I had really bad stomach aches as a kid, and I had to drink thuốc bắc, which is Vietnamese medicine, and it tastes terrible. It tastes like it's just like a whole concoction of different herbs and spices and roots and things like that. And I don't know if it actually helped my stomach or just not drinking orange juice for breakfast every morning stopped it.
Yeah.
So that was us. But continue, Juan.
Yeah, I think my experience was a little bit different because mother actually ended up buying a thermos for me so I could have warm cơm chiên or fried rice at school.
Oh my. Living lavish.
I was quite jealous. I remember now. I was like, really? Why does he need a thermos?
One of the things that Bo did for me in elementary school was sign me up for basketball. And I was so good. I played for 2 years.
Ooh, I was a librarian assistant for 3.
Ooh, dang. I almost made it to 3 hands.
Why didn't you make it to 3?
I think it could be the fact that I ran away from the ball or that I never made a basket. Probably because I never made a shot or never shot the ball. And so mother thought it would be a better change if she signed me up for choir. And I remember the first day going to choir was probably the most nerve-wracking thing ever. I was so shy and anxious. I hid behind mother for a good 5 to 10 minutes while everyone else was rehearsing. And then even then, when I finally got the courage to go to the choir, I sat as far away as possible from everyone.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know this.
I did not know this either.
Yeah, but it's okay. I finally managed to grow out of the shyness, and I actually ended up in choir for 8 years. 8 years where I got to learn about a lot of music, which I loved, and the different styles of music from classical to modern. And
I can see it. I mean, you were pretty enthusiastic about just auditioning for the drama department when you started high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what a journey! I didn't know that, and now I can see it as you're telling it. We're proud of you, Ben.
What was your favorite thing about choir, Juan?
My favorite thing about choir was probably traveling on tour, because we would travel within the States, and then as we kind of progressed through the choir, we actually traveled internationally. Probably my favorite memory is going to Lalupidu. Do you guys remember that?
Yes!
You guys went?
I remember that. That's a wonderful thing. Oh, man. We all support one another. Like, Huang was going to Europe. Bo said, let's all go.
Just some background. Lalupidu is an Estonian music festival that occurs every 5 years, which essentially just marks the independence of Estonia. There are a lot of parades, parties, and obviously singing. It's a music festival. I was lucky enough to be one of the 1,000 choirs that participated, and we were able to sing in the giant fish mouth.
Oh, yes, that's right. You and I were scanning for so long looking for you. It took a while, and then eventually when I found you, I was like, there's Huang! There's Huang!
There's a story attached to that one, but we'll get into those stories later throughout this podcast series. This is the beginning to give listeners a chance to get to know us.
You know, I agree these stories are about our parents and our individual relationships with our parents.
Mm.
And I think that we can see our experiences were varied, even amongst ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I think I always think about how our parents They have friends who are Vietnamese and immigrants like them, and they had kids, Vietnamese-Americans like us. Even hanging out with them, I always noticed that, our experiences were different, just the household that we grew up in. But talking today, even more, it was just nice to see, like, I know we shared a bunk bed, but clearly we all had very different views of our Vietnamese-American experience, and we don't get a lot of time to ever sit down and break it down amongst ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no two stories are the same, even in the same household. So, in a way, I think we've been really blessed, but maybe we should talk more about the relationship amongst ourselves so our listeners get more of an idea of who we are.
You know what? You right here. Why don't we dedicate the next episode to getting to know us and our sibling dynamic? But I think we personally wonder why we are able to sit around together and talk. I mean, I'm not sure every sibling group can do this.
No, we've done a lot of sibling, what are they, like personality questions? Sorry, not sibling personality questions, just personality quizzes in general, especially the ones at Hatton.
Likes to send around.
Yes. But you never sent this one, so I'm curious, have you heard of the leadership compass test?
No, I haven't.
What is it?
So I did it at work, and it's for people to, I guess in the workplace, it's about how you navigate as a leader, whether you're a north, a doer, get things done, an east, a visionary, south, more empathetic, feelings for the people, versus west, someone who's more detail-oriented, organized, methodical. So those are the 4 different aspects. So it'd be nice to break it down, see where we would fall in that compass, and then whether that is something we do within our sibling group or even outside with our friend group, just to see. Let's also post this online because I think people might be interested in this quiz too. It was helpful to me, and I think we'll learn a lot from it. So let's post it online. Listeners, go ahead and take the quiz on our website. You can do it and then listen in on chapter 2 and compass to see, which parts of the compass you are, and maybe any of your stories relate to how we see ourselves and how we see each other. All right, so here we are, book 1, New Beginnings.
Woo, woo.
We're closing that now and starting chapter 2,
Woo woo.
and compass. Let's see you there. I'm Hương.
I'm Karin Hạnh.
I'm Hedda Hiếu.
And I'm Ben Hoàng.
And we'll see you
Next time.
I can't believe we actually did that.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Growing Up Nguyễn. We'd love to hear what you think about our episode today, so please reach out to us through our website at www.growingupnguyen.com or follow us on Instagram at growing.up.nguyen. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. We're Hương, Han, Hiếu, and Hoàng, and this is Growing Up Nguyễn.